Hello, everyone. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am the Pretty Property Coach, and today we're going to get into your first listing appointment, what to prepare for it, and what you need to bring to it. Okay, so let's jump straight into it. The first thing we're going to go through is the documentation that you're going to need for your first listing appointment. Okay, so we're assuming here that you have spoken to your homeowner. You guys have agreed on a date and a time when you can come in, see the property, explain what it is that you're going to bring in terms of value in marketing the property, and they have agreed to let you either sell it or rent it out, right? To assist with them selling it or renting it out. So here are the documents that you're going to need to bring. Make sure that you have your mandate on hand. So if you've agreed on a rental or if you've agreed on a sale, make sure that you bring your mandate form. A mandate form is a agreement between you and your homeowner to say, yes, you do have permission to market the property on their behalf. Without this, you actually have no leg to stand on when it comes to your commission being paid. So don't ever underestimate the power of having a mandate, even if the owner has agreed in principle that yes, you may market my property, but if they don't put it down in writing or sign a mandate form, they can turn around and say, I never gave you the go ahead. And this means you miss out on all of the work that you've put in. So there are different kinds of mandates. There are exclusive mandates, sole mandates, joint mandates, and open mandates. So usually it'll be one form with different options that you will circle whatever the owner has agreed to. Even if it's an open mandate, just cover your back with having a form. Technically, you don't need a signature if it's an open mandate. You just need the owner to agree in principle, not even necessarily in writing. But a best practice for me is always have it in writing. So if it's an open mandate, make sure that they've put it in an email or an SMS that yes, you may go ahead and market my property. But any other kind of mandate, you absolutely have to have a form signed. Okay. So make sure you bring that. And that's something that you're going to explain to your homeowner why you need their signature on that. And it's going to explain all the things like your fees, your commission, what it is that you're going to be doing for them in terms of marketing, and so on and so forth. So if you forget anything else, don't forget your mandate form. All right. The next documentation that you're going to need is a listing form. This basically helps you to write down all of the features of the property that you are walking into. So you're going to get to record how many bathrooms, how many bedrooms, if the property has a garden or a patio or a balcony or whatever. All of those things are going to go down onto your listing forms. And what this helps with is even though you are physically in the property, remember when you start getting really busy, you're going to see probably 2 or 3 properties in a day. And you can imagine how many that is in a week. By the time you sit down to write your adverts, you may get your properties mixed up. It's been known to happen. So a listing form is basically going to help you to take notes of all the important features in that particular property so that you don't forget what is there and what is not, and you don't mix it up with something else. You also want to put down details like if it's got a thatch roof or slate, if it's got some wooden features, maybe wooden stairs or something like that, you want to put that on your listing form. These are things that are either going to attract your potential buyers and tenants or repel them. But you want to have it out there so that even for your own reference, you know which property looks like what, and you be able to describe it in more detail in your adverts and to your potentials. So a listing form. Property disclosure also extremely important, especially if you are conducting a sale. So this is a form that your owner is going to have to fill out to the best of their ability, stating whatever faults may be in the property. This is so crucial because if there's something that the owner has left out, and they knew about it, and the sale goes through, the buyer actually has a right to reverse the sale, because there's certain things that you're legally not allowed to sell a property without those things working properly. And if they aren't working properly, it has to be disclosed so that whoever decides to buy the property can either budget for fixing whatever needs to be fixed, or walk away if they decide that that's just way too much of an investment on their part. So property disclosure, extremely important. This one is a bit tricky because you're not always going to know if the owner is being truthful or not, but at least when you have it with the owner's signature on it, that takes the responsibility away from you as the agent and puts it on the owner, because you are going to know as much as the owner discloses to you. So that protects you and your firm as well. Instead of you and the owner looking like you are both trying to sell a property that is no good, right? And then the bonus documentation that I would say you should have is something that's going to show the owner what other properties are going for. So, for example, if you are selling in a particular complex or estate, and you have noticed that there are 2 or 3 other properties that have the same features, that are more or less the same size as your homeowner's property, then bring that along as well, so that your homeowner is able to see what the competition looks like. Remember, when someone is selling a property, they don't see what else is happening around them. All they have in mind is what it is that they want to accomplish and what it is that they want to walk away with. But you, as the expert, you're able to see what other properties are looking like and what other properties are being sold in the area and for how much. Usually, if you are able to get a property report, those will have recent sales on them recorded, and those will give you a very realistic picture of what your homeowner is likely to get. Remember to compare apples with apples. So if the property that you're selling is 100 square meters, make sure that you're looking at or comparing it with properties that are also around 100 square meters. If it's less than that or more than that, then you're probably not going to be able to get the most accurate price. So make sure that you keep that in mind and have that prepared so that you can show your homeowner where they're likely to land in terms of price. Okay, so those are the documents that you're going to need: mandates, listing forms, property disclosure forms, and some sort of property report that's going to help you to compare their property with what is actually happening in the market currently. All right, then your next batch of what it is that you're going to need in your listing appointment is you're going to need to bring some equipment and some tools along. Okay, because if you are listing this property, that means you are getting ready to put it on the market. So you are going to need a camera. Some agencies have a photographer, some don't. Some agents will use their own personal cell phones, or if you have a really good quality camera, you can use that as well. It actually really doesn't matter, but make sure you do have, at the very same appointment, a camera on hand or a photographer on hand. So, what this does is, while you and your owner are going through the documentation and they're showing you around and so on and so forth, you are getting to capture the different rooms, the different features of the property. Once you have those captured, those are what the potential buyers and potential tenants are going to see online. So, one thing I can definitely say about this is you want it to be the same appointment because homeowners are generally very busy. They don't want unnecessary traffic in their homes. So, you want to avoid having a listing appointment and an appointment to take photos and an appointment to sign mandates. You want to streamline everything so that it's more efficient. You're able to get everything done in one sitting, and that makes you look more professional and more organized as well. Sometimes it's not going to be possible, especially if you're working with a photographer, to have everything done at the same time, in which case I would say have some sort of backup where you can take preliminary photos until you get the good quality photos. But make sure you do as much as you can in that one listing appointment so that the next step is putting it up online. All right. You don't want to be sitting with mandates because mandates are also time based. Some mandates are only 3 months, right? The most you can get is 6 months. So you don't want to be sitting for a week or two with a mandate and the property is not listed because your time is ticking. Okay, so have a camera, have a diary, have some pens. This is going to be great for signing your mandates, signing your property disclosure forms, and so on and so forth. But also, there might be other details that you want to jot down for yourself in your diary. So don't rely on your memory, no matter how good it is. Don't rely on it. Write, make notes, as many notes as possible. Homeowners love to see agents taking notes. They love to see it because it gives the impression that you are very serious and very focused and very organized. So make sure you have a diary and some working pens. One of the pens, if they are branded with your agency, you can leave it with your homeowner. That's also a really good marketing strategy as well, right? And if you're an intern, you have to have a mentor with you. So whether it is your principal, your manager, or another agent that is mentoring you, but they are fully qualified, make sure they are at that listing appointment with you because legally you are not allowed to sign documents, you are not allowed to get signatures on documents. That is somebody who is already fully qualified as an agent who is allowed to do that. So, as much as it is your listing and your appointment and your property, you want to make sure that you are abiding by the rules. So have all the documentation ready. That is your responsibility. But make sure you have somebody over there who is qualified. That also gives you a great opportunity to learn how to speak to homeowners, what to say, what to emphasize, and so on and so forth. Make notes of all of that because before you know it, you're going to be on the appointments by yourself and you want to be confident and you want to know what it is that you need to say and what you shouldn't say. All right. So, then lastly, I will go into etiquette. How do you conduct yourself in an appointment? Point number one, make sure you are well groomed. Everything, nails, hair, clothes, everything. You are neat, you are organized, you need to look professional. Remember, your homeowner probably works in corporate or has their own business or something like that. So they are used to you being around people that are very professional in their image. You cannot come with a wrinkled shirt, a scruffy pair of dirty jeans, your hair looking greasy like it hasn't been, you know, washed in a couple of weeks. Your nails are chipped and dirty. You can't. You absolutely cannot. Because when they look at you, they're imagining also the kind of people that you're going to bring through their property. And remember, a property is probably the biggest investment that the homeowner has. So if they're going to trust you with it, you need to look the part. So make sure everything is well put together. You look good, you look clean, you look presentable, you look professional. Okay. Number two, get to the appointment at least 15 minutes early. The homeowner has to at least find you there, not wait for you if they're not staying in the property themselves. Be there early enough to be able to survey the area as well. In your listings, you want to also describe the neighborhood. You're not only just going to talk about this property, you're also going to talk about how quiet the street is leading up to it. You're going to talk about the school that's right around the corner. You're going to talk about the park that's less than a kilometer away. You're going to talk about the beautiful green, lush trees that are surrounding the whole estate, whatever it is. So you need to get there early enough to be able to observe all of that. You want to have an opportunity to see the neighbors as well. That's going to give you a clue of which potential buyer is going to be suitable for that area, because it's usually people of the same kind of demographic. So you want to be able to look at that. Are there a lot of children around there? It's probably going to be best to find a family. Is there a lot of single professionals around there? You want to target them when you are listing your property. So you want to give yourself at least 15 minutes to survey the area so that you can put that in your listing as well. And then lastly, make sure you bring a can-do attitude. Be optimistic, be positive. You've seen the numbers, you know what's going on in the property area around the property that you're going to be listing. So bring that kind of attitude of, we can make it happen. There is activity. This is a well-established neighborhood, or, it's something that people are excited about, they're buying into, and so on and so forth. So we are positive that we can get this property moving in no time. When you are optimistic, that makes your homeowner trust you more. When they trust you more, they're more willing to take your advice. If you say, okay, let's play around with a different figure in terms of price, or let's, approach this from a different angle, or whatever the case might be, you want to have a positive can-do attitude with obviously a good image, a good first impression, that will buy, or that will get your owner to buy into whatever it is that you sell to them. That will gain their trust much quicker than if you're a negative Nancy. Okay, so make sure you have a very positive attitude when you come in the door, and make sure that the owner knows that you are going to do everything in your power to make sure that you are marketing this property to the best of your abilities. I'm just going to go back quickly to taking photos of the property. Please, please, please make sure that the photos are neat, okay? We will go into this maybe in greater detail in another video. If you would like, just put a comment down below. But make sure that you are very aware of the photos that you're taking. So I see a lot of photos where there are socks and just weird things that could have easily been moved out of the frame for the photo. Okay, so don't just get in there, point and click. Make sure you neaten it up. Make sure if there's books, they're standing up straight. If there's laundry, you get it out of the way. If there's dirty dishes, you put them in the cupboards underneath so that they're not on display for the photos. Whatever it is that you need to do to sell a clean home, that's what you do. Okay, if you can get rid of like personalized photographs for the pictures, that'd be great, because people want to imagine themselves living in that property. They don't really want to see who is currently living there. So those are just small little details that you want to be aware of and mindful of. And that's basically what you need to prepare for your first listing appointment. Remember to breathe. Rather pace yourself when you talk than trying to speed through it, even if you're nervous. And if you have somebody there who is your mentor or your manager, observe, take as many notes as possible, and make sure that you find something that is going to be your selling ticket for this particular property. Whatever it is that your homeowner loves the most about their home, that's probably going to be a great selling point for a potential. All right, so I'm going to end that here. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you, beautiful people, in the next one.